Hello and welcome to another video. We're going to be talking about tables. Tables have become very easy to handle in Microsoft 2013. You will see that they have their own ribbons and they have a lot of design available for us, and also of course the layout uh, is easy, manageable. Let's assume that I wanted to do a table with a list of friends. Let's say we have 5 friends or 4 friends, and I wanted to know about their first name, their last name. I wanted to know about their date of birth, and I wanted to know about their phone numbers. So we're talking about first name, last name, date of birth, and their phone numbers. I have 4 friends. Of course, we have 4 rows, and that is going to be allocated for the friends, and we have 4 columns for the first name, uh, last name, their date of birth, and the phone number. But we need to add one more row that is going to be reserved for the labels or the captions of the columns, so we'll know what we're talking about. Let's go ahead and start. We do that usually from the insert ribbon. We're going to go to the table, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and we're going to go to the right for columns. Of course, there is other ways of inserting the table, but this is to be the best and the easiest approach. Let's go ahead and say first name. Uh, Notice I'm going to be hitting the tab to move from one cell to another cell. Last name and date of birth and telephone. So this is going to take care of the caption or the labels. And I'm hitting the tab to go to the next. I misspelled phone. I usually misspell things very easily. And we're going to go ahead and say, let's say Al, and last name is Woods. And date of birth is 0 to, let's take it 09 1945. And his phone number is 305 to say 555-0101. I'm hitting the tab to go to the next row. We're going to say here Jack Perez, and his date of birth is 07/08/1992, and his phone number is, say, 401-555-0120. And here we go. We're going to go to Susie, Susie Jones, and she was born 06 08 1945, and we're going to have 305 555 0205. And we have Mary, Mary Roberts, and she was born 07 slash 05 1991, and her phone number is 502 and 555-020, let's say 6. So I entered the data, and now the table is ready. Notice here, and I select the table, you're going to see the ribbon here. The ribbon is going to have the design ribbon and the layout ribbon. All the functionality that is associated with the table are going to be handled through the layout, and all the artistic side of the table is going to be handled by the design. For example, since the table is selected, obviously I could see the ribbon. If I click somewhere outside of the table, notice there is no such a ribbon for the table associated with it. This is extremely important point when we handle Microsoft product, because their style, which I agree with it, in handling the ribbons only when you need it. So if I need to really handle the table, I click on the table, I see the ribbons. If I don't need to handle the table, I wanted to deal with the editor, then that ribbon will disappear, giving me more space on that area of the ribbon. That's very clever. So I'm going to go ahead and select one more time the tables, and I could go to the design, and I could choose any of those pre-formatted good looking design. If I don't like any one of them, I could go ahead and modify table style. I could get a new style if I want and store it. But let's go ahead, since we have plenty of those, we could go ahead and choose. I like blue color, Notice here, this looks very good. Again, I click on it if I wanted to get the black, green, orange, whatever you want. You don't like any of those, no big deal. You could go ahead and select this and go to the shading and select your own color. More color, you could go ahead and choose the standard color. If you don't like, you could choose one of 16.7 million color that you could mix and match to whatever color you want. For example, of course, this is not a lot of color harmony there, but you get the point if you wanted to really do your own colors. If the border also you're not up to your liking, you could click on it. You could go ahead and choose a different thickness, you know, very thick color, you know, and you could go ahead and choose a different type of maybe style. See here, it's really interesting to see how you could do things in table. It's amazing what you can do. Anyway, here we go. We're going to go ahead and maybe go ahead and get a different style here. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Get a different style to get back to it. I'm going to go ahead and add another row. I'll put the cursor outside it, and I could hit enter. As you notice, I got another row. If I don't like the style, I'm going to undo. I could go ahead and select this row here, and go ahead and click the right button and insert. It's going to give me option to insert a row above or below. If I don't like to deal with the right click, no big deal. You have the layout. The layout, which has a lot more options, also insert below. Right away there is, and just like Windows product, we could do 5, 6 different ways. Different ways of the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and add the row. I'm going to select these 3 items. I'm going to use the layout in order to merge the cells. For example, I could merge that cells, and if I wanted to go ahead and merge all of them, I could select it and I could go ahead and say merge the whole thing is in one single table. I will say maybe as the date, for example, is 03 15 2015, and I could go ahead and select this. I could go to the alignment where I'm going to center that in the middle, center. What does that prove to me? If I could increase the width of the cell, it's a merge cell. It's going to be the text is going to be centered, regardless of how, regardless of the height of the table. So this is really interesting, very interesting to see how things can be manipulated in a table. Let's assume that I wanted to go ahead and do some sort of additional formulas. I wanted to go ahead and first of all, I wanted to do a formula by adding first data. I'm going to go ahead and insert here. We're going to insert to the right. Notice here I inserted another table. And I wanted to say the number of the kids for these people, for my friends. Number of kids. And I'm going to say Al has 4 kids. Jack has 3. Susie has 0. And Mary has 6 kids. So what are we going to do here? First of all, I'm going to select all this and go ahead and make it to the right, because I like to format my numbers or align my numbers to the right. Now, we could go ahead and get the title of this. Also, I want it to be to the right. I'm going to use the formula. The formula has multiple functions, but there's no way you could compare the formula of the tables to the power of Excel. Excel is a lot more powerful, and also it doesn't have what we call automatic recalculation. So if you change the data, it's not going to recalculate it. But I wanted to format this not as a dollar figure, because this is not currency. I wanted to have 0 digit to the right of the decimal points. But, and I agree with us, that's going to be the sum above, and here we go. Notice it did actually give me the number of the kids for all my friends. If suddenly Susie informed me that she has another kid, notice the 13 is not going to change, but I'm going to select it and hit the function key F9. Actually, I need to go ahead and click off. I didn't change it, no big deal. We could go to the formula and run the same exact calculation, it's going to change it. You know, earlier version, when you click F9, it's going to really recalculate it back. As you notice, we could do some calculation. We could align things. We could really enlarge the width of by putting the cursor right directly between two tables. You could change the width of a column. As you notice, all this can be able to. One last thing I wanted to discuss, you could really change the direction of that text. For example, you could go ahead and do it this way, and go back to normal. Change that. See, this is stable, and it's very, very, very controllable. And of course, I could go ahead and adjust that. One more thing, I could go ahead and copy this and paste it here. And of course, I need to have a little bit of, I'm going to go ahead and hit a little bit space here. And I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Delete it. Delete cell. I'm going to delete it, and I wanted to go ahead and change even entirely the color. I'm going to go to the design, and I'm going to go ahead and sort the business cells by last name. So I'm going to select it. I go to the layout. I'm going to go to the sort, and now how helpful is to have the labels available for me. I'm going to say last name, sorted by last name, and sorted by first name. This is, of course, doesn't make too much sense, but if I have 50 people with last name Smith, of course, it would be very handy to sort them first by last name, then by first name, because if you have Al Smith, it's going to be the first, versus like Zachary Smith is going to follow that. So here we go. Notice how all the last name have been sorted. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to continue with some desktop publishing in the next video. Thank you.